Have you ever noticed how easily you become attached to people, to places, to memories? Have you ever paused to wonder how these attachments truly impact your life? Are they drawing you closer to happiness, or are they keeping you in struggle? Are you seeking your happiness in the hands of others? Or do you recognize that true happiness resides within your own heart? Welcome, my friend. I am Zanashi, your guide on the sacred path to deep peace, a keeper of restful sleep, and the one who leads you beyond the shadows of fear. We've already explored the path of purpose and balance, and I am deeply honored to walk this journey with you once again. Chapter 3: Attachment. It is a quiet bond we form, a thread that ties us to another, a longing for connection, a desire to be seen, to be loved. But attachment is not love. It is the need for something outside of you, to complete you, to define you, to make you whole. When you attach yourself to another, you place your happiness in their hands. You give them the power to shape your joy and your pain. But true love does not seek to possess, does not demand. True love flows freely, without expectation, without need. Attachment binds us to the past. It keeps us anchored in the illusion that we need something or someone to feel complete. But you are already whole. You are already complete. You do not need another person to define your worth. Your worth was never in the hands of another. It was always within you. When you seek happiness in others, you give away your power. You forget that joy comes from within. It comes from acceptance, from peace with who you are, from freedom. The problem with attachment is this: it leads to suffering. When you attach to something outside of you, you fear its loss. You cling, you control, and in doing so, you lose yourself. True love is not about possession. It is not about ownership. It is about freedom. To love without chains. To be together without losing yourself. The heart, like the sky, is vast. It has room for all, without attachment, without the need to claim. So, release the chains of attachment. Let go of the need to control another's love. Let love flow freely, as it was meant to. When you stop seeking your worth in others, when you stop depending on others for happiness, you will find that love is abundant. It is already here, within you. And when you love from this place, from a place of wholeness, you will see that true love does not take. It gives. It nurtures. It allows you to be yourself and encourages others to do the same. In that freedom, In that peace, you will find the love you have always sought, not in someone else, but within yourself. And in that love, you will be truly free. Attachment is a quiet fear, a fear that without someone else, you will not be whole, a fear that love is something you must grasp and hold tightly. But love is not something to possess. It is something to experience. It is the space where two souls meet, but never merge into one. It is the freedom to be yourself, without losing the other. When you hold on too tightly to love, when you cling to a person, a situation, a belief, you create walls, you build cages, and within those walls, love becomes suffocated. Real love is not confined to any shape. It does not have conditions. It does not demand anything in return. It simply is, like the sky, open, limitless, allowing everything to exist as it is. So, when love turns to attachment, it becomes a weight, a burden. You no longer see the other for who they truly are. You only see them as a source of your happiness, and when they cannot fulfill that need, you feel empty, lost. But the truth is, no one else can complete you. Only you can do that. You are whole already. No person, no relationship can make you more complete. You are enough, just as you are. So release the need to hold on. Let go of the expectations you place on others, and allow love to simply flow, like a river that flows effortlessly, giving without taking, receiving without clinging. When you love with freedom, when you love without attachment, you give the greatest gift to the other, the gift of space, the gift of acceptance, the gift of allowing them to be themselves. And in that space, both of you can grow, not as one, but as two separate beings, connected, but not bound, free to be who you truly are, without fear, without attachment. So, let love be a gentle breeze, not a storm that overwhelms you. Let it be a light that guides you, not a shadow that blinds you, for true love is not about what you gain. It is about what you give, and in giving, you will find that you have everything you need, already within you. Attachment is the illusion of need, a belief that something outside of you can fill the emptiness within. But what if that emptiness is not something to be filled? What if it is simply a space waiting to be understood, a space for growth, for self-awareness, for peace? The truth is, love is not meant to complete you. It is meant to expand you, to help you remember your true self, to remind you that you are whole, you are enough. Before anyone else enters your life, you were already whole. And when someone leaves, you will still remain whole. When we attach to another, we sometimes lose sight of who we are. We begin to define ourselves by our relationships, by the love we receive, or the love we don't receive. But you are not your relationships. You are not the approval or affection of others. You are the essence of being, the quiet knowing that you are alive, that you are here, and that is enough. So when you find yourself attached to another's love, when you feel the weight of need, pause, take a breath, and remember, you are not incomplete. You do not need anyone to make you whole. True love is born from freedom. It does not bind or control. It does not seek to possess or own. It simply allows both people to grow, together, yet separate, like two trees growing side by side. Their roots intertwined, but their branches reaching for the sky independently. The most beautiful love is the one that leaves space for both people to flourish, to be who they are, to embrace their own journey. And in that space, love thrives, not as a need, but as a gift. When you stop seeking love as something to fulfill you. When you begin to see love as a force to amplify your true self, you will no longer be afraid to lose it. For you will know that love is not a possession. It is a flow, a current that moves through you and connects you to the world around you. And in that realization, you will find peace. True, lasting peace, not because you have someone, but because you have yourself. You have your own heart, your own love, and that is more than enough. Attachment is often born from fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being incomplete, fear of not being enough. But what if the truth is that alone you are whole? That in the quiet of your own company, you are everything you need to be. That you are already enough. In your silence, in your solitude, in your stillness. When we cling to someone for our happiness, we give away our power. We place the responsibility for our joy in someone else's hands. And in doing so, we forget that happiness is not something to be found outside of us. It is something that comes from within. It is something we can cultivate. No one can give it to us. Only we can choose it. Choose to find peace within ourselves, and from that peace, everything else flows. True love does not come from attachment. It comes from freedom. Freedom to be yourself, to stand strong in your own being. And when you stand strong, you don't need anyone to hold you up. You can love deeply, without fear, without expectations, without needing the other person to be something for you, because you are already everything you need to be. Attachment pulls us toward dependence. It leads us to believe that our happiness is tied to someone else's actions, that our joy is dependent on someone else's love. But the truth is, The more we depend on others for our happiness, the more we lose ourselves. And the more we cling, the further away love gets. When you let go of attachment, you release fear. You free the heart from the burden of expectations. And in that space, true love has room to grow, room to breathe. It no longer feels heavy. It feels light, like a breeze, gentle, unhurried, not bound by time or circumstance, but flowing naturally. Love is not about finding the right person to complete you. It's about realizing that you are already complete. And the right person comes into your life not to fill a void, but to walk alongside you, to share in the beauty of this life. As two whole beings, two separate souls, connected yet free. So let go of attachment. Let go of the need to control or possess. Allow love to simply be what it is. A shared experience, a beautiful exchange. And as you release the need to hold on, you will find that love becomes more than you could ever imagine. Free, open, endless. And in this love, you will find peace. You will find joy. You will find yourself. Attachment is the illusion that we are incomplete, that something is missing from our lives, that we need someone or something to make us whole. But what if we have been whole all along? What if everything we seek outside of ourselves is already within us, waiting to be recognized? When we attach ourselves to a person, an outcome, or a belief, we become bound by the very thing we desire. We start to define ourselves by what we have or do not have, by the love we give or receive. But your essence cannot be defined by any external thing. It is pure. It is boundless. It is free. Attachment comes from the fear of losing something we think we need. We grip tightly. We hold on. We try to control the flow of life. But life is not something to control. It is something to experience, to surrender to trust in. When we let go of attachment, we open ourselves to the flow of life. We stop trying to shape life into our image, and we allow life to shape us. We stop looking outside of ourselves for validation, and we turn inward. We remember that we are enough, just as we are. Love, when free from attachment, becomes pure and expansive. It no longer seeks to possess or control. It no longer demands or expects. It simply allows both people to be themselves. It celebrates individuality while sharing connection. It is not a need. It is a gift. When you let go of attachment, you allow love to be an expression of freedom. It becomes a shared experience, a union of two whole beings who do not depend on each other to feel complete, but come together to enrich one another's lives, not because they need each other, but because they choose to walk the path together out of love, not out of fear, In this freedom, love becomes a source of strength. It is not something that drains you, but something that nourishes you, because you no longer depend on it to fill your emptiness. You are already full. So release the weight of attachment. Let go of the need to control or hold on to love. Allow yourself to experience love in its purest form, in its natural flow. And in that space, you will discover that love is not something you take. It is something you give, freely, openly, and with the deepest peace. And in that freedom, you will find that you are not only loved, but you are love itself. It is born from the illusion of scarcity, a belief that love is something limited, that it must be earned, that it must be clung to. But love, true love, is abundant. It is not a resource to be hoarded. It is a river that flows endlessly. And when you let go of attachment, you allow that river to flow freely. Through you, around you, in you. When we attach to another person, we often forget the essence of love. We seek to define love through their actions, through their words. But love is not confined to any person. It is a presence that exists everywhere, in the trees, in the sky, in the quiet moments of solitude, in the peace that comes when we stop seeking and start being. Attachment creates expectations. It creates the need for someone else to be a certain way, to act in a certain manner. But true love is not bound by expectations. It is free from the need to control. It simply is. It is allowing the other to be who they are, without trying to mold them into an image, without demanding they fill the empty spaces inside of you. When you love without attachment, you love without fear. You love without need. You love because it is your nature to do so. You love because you are whole, and you see the other as whole too. You do not seek to complete each other. You simply walk beside one another, each on their own path, yet still together. The beauty of love without attachment is freedom. Freedom to be yourself. Freedom to allow the other to be themselves, without fear of judgment or rejection, without the pressure to fit into any mold. And when you love from this place of freedom, you allow both yourself and the other to grow, to evolve, to transform. When you let go of attachment, you stop grasping at fleeting moments. You stop trying to hold on to the past or control the future. You live in the present. You experience love as it comes, and in that experience you find peace. You find that love is not something to possess. It is something to experience, to share, to let flow. And when love is free, when it is not bound by attachment, it becomes something even more profound. It becomes a reflection of your truest self. It becomes an expression of your highest nature. And in that love, you find the peace that has always been there, waiting for you to discover it. So release the chains of attachment. Let go of the need to control or possess love. Let love simply be. And as you do, you will find that love becomes more than you imagined. It becomes a force of pure connection, a shared experience, a celebration of who you are and who the other is. And in that space, you are free to love deeply and to live fully. Attachment is a heavy cloak we wear, a cloak made of fears and expectations. It is woven from the threads of desire and the belief that love must be controlled. But love, when it is true, is light. It does not burden you. It frees you. It allows you to soar without the weight of need, without the chains of expectation. When we are attached, we become limited. We become entangled in the stories we create, the stories of how love should be, how it should look, how it should feel. But love is not a story to be written. It is an experience to be lived, in its raw, untamed beauty, in its natural flow, unwritten, untold, free from definition. When you attach, you try to control the uncontrollable. You attempt to shape another person, to fit a mold that you believe will bring you happiness. But true happiness is not found in shaping others. It is found in allowing them to be as they are, to show up as their truest self, without fear of rejection or judgment, to love them without the need for change, to love them in their imperfections, in their flaws, in their humanity. In letting go of attachment, you free yourself. You free yourself from the fear of losing. You free yourself from the desire to possess. You allow the relationship to unfold naturally, without the pressure to define it, to control it, to make it last forever. Because love is not about forever. It is about now, about being present with each other. And in that presence, love is enough. It is always enough. When attachment fades, love becomes light as air. It becomes a dance between two souls, where neither is trying to hold on, neither is clinging, but both are flowing together, in rhythm, in harmony, free from the fear of what may come, and open to whatever may be. True love is born from acceptance, from embracing the other just as they are, not trying to change them, not trying to make them fit into your vision of what love should look like, but loving them with an open heart, loving them as you love yourself, whole, perfect in their imperfection. So, when you let go of attachment, you release the fear that keeps you bound. You release the desire to control. And in that release, love becomes pure. It becomes a space of freedom, a place where both people can exist as they are, not as something they need to become, but as beautiful whole beings walking side by side, supporting each other, not through possession, but through freedom. And in that freedom, love will bloom, not because it has to, but because it wants to, freely, with no strings attached. Attachment is the shadow of fear, a quiet whisper that tells you you are not enough on your own. You need someone to complete you. But this is an illusion, a thought that has no truth. For within you lies a world of wholeness, a vast untapped reservoir of love and peace, waiting to be discovered. When we attach, we give away our power. We place our worth in the hands of others, believing they can validate us, believing that their love will define our happiness. But true happiness comes from within, from knowing that you are already complete, that no one can give you what you do not already possess. Love is not something to be found in another person. It is something to be realized within yourself. A truth that exists in every heartbeat, in every breath. Attachment is the belief that you need someone to be happy, that without them you will be incomplete. But the key to love is not in needing. It is in being. Being content with yourself. Being at peace with who you are. And when you are at peace with yourself, you can love freely. You can give love without expecting anything in return, because you know that love does not complete you. It expands you. True love flows without restrictions, without the pressure to meet expectations, without the fear of loss. It is not something that comes and goes based on circumstances. It is a constant presence, a quiet knowing that you are enough, and the other is enough, just as they are. When we attach to another, we often become afraid of the unknown, afraid of what might happen if they leave, afraid of what we will become without them. But what if the unknown is where your true freedom lies? What if the space between you and the other is where your own growth and self-love will flourish? The key is not to hold on to someone, but to let them be free to be who they are, while you remain free to be who you are. And in that freedom, love will flow naturally. Attachment is born from fear, but love is born from freedom. When you love without needing, when you love without attachment, you experience love in its purest form. It is not something you hold on to, it is something you let flow, like a river running wild and free, not bound by the banks of expectations, but flowing freely as it is meant to. Let go of attachment. Let go of the belief that you need another to be complete, and watch how love transforms, how it expands, how it becomes something more beautiful than you ever imagined. A love that is free, a love that is whole, a love that is enough. Attachment is the root of suffering. It is the fear of losing what we think defines us. We grasp onto people, possessions, and outcomes, believing they are the source of our happiness. But happiness is not something to hold on to. It is something to experience, moment by moment, in the space between thoughts, in the silence beneath the noise. When we are attached, we live in a constant state of longing. We seek to fill a void that can never truly be filled from the outside. Because the void is not something external, it is a misperception within ourselves, the belief that we are incomplete, that we need someone or something to make us whole. But the truth is, you are already whole, already enough, already complete. Attachment tells you that without this person, this thing, or this situation, you are not enough. But in reality, you are abundant in every breath you take, in every thought that passes, in every feeling you experience. Your happiness does not depend on another. It is rooted in your own understanding of who you are, in your acceptance of your own soul. When you release attachment, you stop trying to control the flow of life. You stop attempting to force it into a shape that suits your desires. You let life unfold as it is meant to, with trust, with acceptance, with grace. And when you let go of control, you free yourself to experience life in its fullest, in its rawest, most authentic form. True love does not come from attachment. It comes from freedom. Freedom to give without expecting. Freedom to be yourself without fear of judgment. Freedom to love without possessing. It is in this freedom that love can truly bloom. Because when you no longer need the other person to be something for you, you allow them to be themselves. And in doing so, love is no longer a need, but a gift. Attachment tries to hold on. It clings to the past and fears the future. But love lives in the present. It breathes in the now. It flows with life's rhythm. It dances in the moments of connection, not bound by expectations, but free to evolve. So, when you let go of attachment, you let go of the fear that keeps you small. You let go of the belief that you are not enough without someone else. You begin to discover a new kind of love. A love that is expansive, that fills you from the inside, that is limitless. And when you love from this place of freedom, you find that everything you seek is already within you, no longer seeking love to complete you, but living love because it is already who you are. And in that realization, you are free. Free to love without fear, free to live without holding on, and in that freedom, you will find peace. Attachment is the illusion of ownership, the false belief that you can possess love, that you can claim it as your own. But love is not a thing to be owned. It is a force to be experienced. It is a current that moves through you, not something you can grasp and hold. When you try to own love, it slips through your fingers like sand in the wind. Love is meant to flow, to come and go like the tides of the ocean. It moves freely, without the need for control, without the need for possession. When you let go of the desire to control it, you allow love to be pure, to be untamed, to be real. Attachment creates a wall between you and the other. It says, "You are mine. You belong to me." But true love is not about belonging. It is about sharing. It is about connection. When you love without attachment, you create space for the other to be their true self, without the pressure to fit into your expectations. You love them because they are, not because they fulfill a need within you. Love without attachment is freedom. Freedom to be yourself, to love without fear, to give without expectation. It is not a love that demands anything in return, but a love that celebrates the other for who they are, without trying to change them, without trying to hold on to them. It is a love that flows, that grows, that evolves. When you love from a place of freedom, you love without conditions. You love without trying to possess or control. You love because it is your nature to do so, and in that love you become whole. You stop looking outside of yourself for validation, for approval, for happiness. You find it within, in the love you have for yourself, in the peace you cultivate within your heart. Attachment tells you that love is something to cling to, that it is something you must protect and possess. But love is not fragile. It is not something that can be broken or lost. It is a force that is ever present, a light that shines even in the darkest of times. And when you let go of attachment, you allow that light to shine freely, unobstructed. So, release the need to hold on. Release the fear that tells you that without attachment, love will fade. Know that love is not something to possess, but something to experience, to give, to share. When you love without attachment, you will find that love is not a weight, but a lightness, a freedom, a joy. And in that space of freedom, you will find peace. You will find yourself, and you will find that love is all around you, in everything you do, in everyone you meet. Love is not something you chase. It is something you allow. And when you allow love to flow freely, it becomes infinite, endless, and ever present. Attachment is the illusion of control. It is the belief that you must hold on to something to make it real. But love, true love, does not need to be controlled. It simply is. Like the wind, you cannot see it, but you can feel its presence. You cannot hold it, but you can allow it to move through you. When we attach, we are caught in the story that we need to possess love, that without it, we are incomplete. But this story, it is not the truth, for you are already whole. You are already complete. Love flows through you, and you are the vessel, the container of love, not the owner. Attachment is the root of suffering. For when we attach to someone, something, we place our happiness in their hands. We believe that they must fulfill us. But the truth is, no one can fill the emptiness inside you, because that emptiness is not a void. It is the space where love flows freely. It is the space where you can discover your own completeness. The moment you stop trying to possess love, you stop trying to change it. You stop trying to force it into a mold. You will see that love is not something you chase. It is something that you allow. Allow to flow through your life. Allow to flow through your heart. And when you do this, you will see that love is endless. It has no beginning. It has no end. When you love without attachment, you love with freedom. You love without expectation, without conditions. And in that love, you discover that there is no need to hold on. There is only the beauty of letting go, of allowing the other to be who they are, of allowing yourself to be who you are. In that space, love is born again and again. Attachment says, I need you. But love says, I love you, but I am whole without you. When you love without attachment, you create space for the other to be free, to be themselves, without the pressure of your expectations, and in that freedom, love grows. Not because it has to, but because it wants to. So let go of the need to possess. Let go of the need to control. Allow love to flow through you. Allow it to come and go, like the seasons, like the tide. And when you let go, you will discover the truth. That love, in its purest form, is freedom. It is boundless, and it is already within you. Attachment is a chain. It binds you to the past, to what has been, to what you think you need. But true love, true peace, is found in the present moment. It is found in the freedom to simply be, to simply love without holding on. When you are attached, you are always looking for something, a reason, a person, a validation. But the truth is, you do not need to search. You do not need to chase love, because love is already here. It is the breath in your lungs, the quiet stillness of your heart, the softness in your soul. It is already within you, waiting to be felt. Attachment clouds the mind. It keeps you tied to expectations and fears. It tells you that love is something you must earn. But love is not earned. It is given freely. It flows when you allow it to. It flows when you let go of the need to control, to possess, to define it. When you attach, you create distance. You create walls between you and the other. You close off the beauty of true connection. But when you love without attachment, you open the door to true intimacy. You love not because you need, but because you want to share. You love because your heart is overflowing, not because you are empty. Attachment is fear. The fear of loss, the fear of being alone, the fear of not being enough. But when you release the fear, when you let go of the attachment, you will see that there is nothing to fear, for you are whole and you are free. True love does not possess. It gives without expectation. It receives without attachment. It is a dance between two souls that flows, that evolves, that grows. And in that dance, you find freedom. You find peace. You find joy. When you stop needing, when you stop holding on, love becomes effortless. It becomes pure. It becomes infinite. And in that love, you discover that you were never truly alone. You were always whole, always enough, and always loved. Let go of the need to attach, and watch how love flows freely. Watch how it expands. Watch how it fills your life in ways you never imagined. When you love without attachment, you will find that love is not something you possess, but something you become. To free yourself from attachment, you must first understand that it is not the other person, not the thing, not the situation that you are clinging to. It is the belief, the thought, that your happiness depends on it. And to break free, you must begin with the mind. You must become aware of the stories you tell yourself. The stories that say, I need this. I need them. Without this, I am nothing. Recognize that this is not the truth. Your happiness does not reside in someone else's hands. It does not depend on anything external. It is within you. It has always been there, waiting to be discovered. When you let go of the belief that you need something to be whole, you will feel the weight lifting from your heart. You will feel lighter, freer, because you no longer need to hold on. One way to begin this journey is to practice presence, to come back to the now, to the simple act of being, not doing, not chasing, just being. When you let go of the need to control the future, the need to possess the moment, you allow yourself to be fully present. And in that presence, you find peace. In that peace, you begin to let go. Another key is to practice detachment with love. It is not about pushing away the people or things you love, but rather releasing the need to possess them. Love them as they are, without needing them to be anything more, without expecting them to fulfill you, without holding on to them as if your life depends on it. You love them for the joy of loving, not for the fear of losing. And in that love, you will find freedom. When you feel the pull of attachment, pause, breathe deeply, and remind yourself that this is temporary. This longing, this craving, it will pass. Feel the craving, but don't let it define you. Observe it without judgment and let it go. You are not your desires. You are the one who is aware of them. And in that awareness, you reclaim your power. To free yourself from attachment, you must also learn to trust life. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Trust that you are not alone, that everything you need will come to you in its own time. Let go of the need to control how it happens, and trust the process. When you release the grip of attachment, you will find that life begins to flow more freely. It moves with you rather than against you. Finally, you must learn to love yourself, not because of what you have or what you do, but simply because you are. You are whole. You are enough. You are worthy of love, without attachment. And when you realize this, when you truly understand this, you will be free. Free from the need to possess. Free from the need to control. Free from the belief that your happiness depends on anything outside of yourself. In this freedom, you will find peace. You will find joy. And you will find that love is not something you seek, but something you simply allow. Happiness is not something you seek outside yourself. It is not something you find in the eyes of another, or in their words, their actions. It is not something that is given to you by another person, no matter how deeply you love them. Happiness is born within you. It is a state of being, a way of seeing the world, a way of embracing life, without needing anything from anyone to complete you. When you search for happiness in others, you are giving your power away. You are placing the responsibility for your well-being on someone else's shoulders. And that is a heavy burden, for no one can be responsible for your happiness, except you. No one can fill the space inside you. That is your job, and it is a beautiful one, because when you fill that space with love for yourself, with peace within, with gratitude for the present moment, you will find that happiness comes naturally. You do not need someone else's approval to be happy. You do not need their love to feel whole. You are already whole. You are already complete. And when you embrace that truth, when you stop seeking outside validation, you will find that happiness is always within reach. It is in your breath, in your heart, in the simple act of being. Happiness is not a destination. It is not something you can chase and catch. It is not found in external achievements or possessions. It is found in the quiet moments, in the stillness, in the acceptance of yourself. As you are right now, when you stop seeking happiness in others, you stop giving away your peace, and you begin to discover the depth of contentment within yourself. Happiness is not a fleeting feeling. It is a deep, unshakable knowing. A knowing that you are enough, that you are worthy of love, that you are worthy of joy, right here, right now. When you stop looking for happiness in others, you open yourself to the infinite source of happiness within you. And that happiness does not depend on anyone else. It does not fade when the external world shifts. It remains constant. It remains with you. So, stop looking outside for what is already within. Stop seeking happiness in someone else's smile, in someone else's affection. You are the source of your own joy. You are the wellspring of your own peace. When you realize this, when you accept this, you will no longer need to search for happiness, because you will know that it has always been here, within you, waiting to be discovered. And so, you have the power to create your own happiness, to release the need for attachment, to love without possession, to find peace within yourself, and to trust that everything you seek is already within you. You do not need to chase love. You do not need to seek happiness in others, because you are whole, you are enough, and you are free. When you let go of the need to control, when you stop looking outside for what is already inside, you will discover the beauty of the present moment. You will discover the peace of simply being, and you will see that life, in all its simplicity, is already perfect, just as it is. So embrace the freedom of letting go, embrace the joy of loving yourself, and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. For when you live in alignment with your true self, when you love yourself completely, the world around you will reflect that peace, that love, that joy. You are the creator of your own reality, the master of your own happiness, and in that, there is nothing more beautiful than the life you are living right now.